I did really well this week in terms of my discipline. Amazing. I didn't break my rules once, and I swear this is where a major shift starts. What is going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your first time tuning in. My name is Lewis, and I'm just simply documenting my trading journey. First thing I want to say is thank you so much for 1,400 subscribers. Thank you for the amount of support that we've been getting on all platforms. It wouldn't be possible without you. If you find any value in these videos, like I said, I'm just documenting my trading journey. Share with a friend, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, because new videos like this will come out all the time. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Like I said, share with a friend. If you learn anything, let me know how your trading has been going this past week. It was a pretty interesting week, so let me know down in the comments, or just let me know how your trading journey is going in general. If you've never seen executions like this, and I know you haven't because I haven't seen anybody else edit their executions like this, make sure you follow me on Instagram at LewisVisuals_. Follow me on TikTok, on Twitter. Everything is down in the description. We'll talk about the Discord and everything else in a little bit. One thing that I will have to say right now is that today has been a very productive day for me. I've been doing a lot of things today, and I had gone back onto my charts and gotten ready for the new week already, and I deleted all the annotations for this week's video, but it's all right. We're gonna just do a back testing session either way. If you want to see any of the executions, just check out my Instagram. They're all on there. I hope you've been enjoying the 2 posts per day. I've been posting on Instagram Reels and YouTube and TikTok and all that stuff twice a day now, and you know, from now on, that is what is going to be my minimum for the daily. And if I need to in the future, I will make it more per day, just because I want to make this year the best that I possibly can. I don't want to have any regrets looking back like, damn, I was only posting 1 video when I know there's people posting like 9 videos a day. So I am just trying my best right now, but I don't want to make this video too long or the intro too long. Let's head into the Discord and into the sponsor of this video. Before we get into that, like I said, thank you so much for the amount of subscribers that we're getting. It has been crazy. Like I said, since I've been posting 2 videos a day, the views have been going up, and hopefully I can double this next month. As you see right now, we are at 28,000, basically 29,000. So my goal for next month is to have that double, just because of what I'm averaging on my views is a certain number. So if I post twice a day, it should be that number times 2. So let's just see. By next month, I hopefully have double this number. But thank you so much for the amount of support. If you're looking to upgrade your PC or get a new PC with the best available parts in the market, check out Techtronix.com. I'll put the video up right now. It should be over there, I think, over there, of my build, where I got a case from them and some new RAM. And I was actually talking to Mike, the owner of Techtronix, today, and we are going to put some cooling gel in my CPU, just because it's been a couple months and I think it needs a little bit more cooling gel, and he is going to do that for me. So thank you so much to Mike. Make sure you check out their Instagram and DM them. Use my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off. That code still works. Their website is under construction right now and is gonna come back better than ever, so just give them some time as they get that done. Apart from that, that is all I have to say. Go ahead and check them out, and if you like anything on there, just let them know that I sent you and use my discount code like I already mentioned. But let's head into the Discord. Now we are in the Discord. This is the Discord. Very active this week. We've been doing very well. A lot of people sending their trades. A lot of people killed it this week. Honestly, I'm extremely grateful for the people that are in here. If you want to join, hit the link in the description. Come in here and just come in with some good vibes. All that I ask is that you are honestly active in here. It's becoming a lot more active the past few weeks, so I want to keep it like that. We have 139 members right now, so let's keep it going. I haven't had anybody come in with bad energy or anything like that, so I'm extremely grateful for the people who are in here right now. If you are interested in joining the premium Discord and getting access to all of this, go ahead and hit the join premium. If you need testimonials as well, you have this here. My first student actually got his first payout recently, so go ahead and check it out. If you want to join the premium Discord, you'll have access to all of this. It is a monthly subscription, and if you want to actually learn how to trade from me, just hit the join premium. All the information is in there, and if you have any questions or anything like that, you could also join the free Discord and message me in the Discord, or DM me on Instagram at Lewis_. So that's basically all I gotta say for the Instagram. Let's head into the charts and let's talk about what ended up happening this week. All right, here we are. Crazy week this week, honestly, if I'm being 100% with you. I know it looks like I didn't do anything, but like I said in the beginning of the video, I accidentally forgot that I hadn't recorded yet, and I cleared all my annotations from last week and already started everything for this upcoming week. So we're just gonna do a back testing session, and if I have to redo this, I guess I'll just redo it, and then we'll carry on for the next week. But let's talk about what this week ended up looking like. We ended up having a Monday low of week all the way up to a Friday high. Extreme expansion this week, just crazy expansion this past week. Straight from Monday, just went up. I was not expecting us to take out the previous week low on Sunday and then just take out the previous week high on Monday. That was unexpected, but very good trades this week that ended up setting up. I did mess up up a lot and I did get a couple wins, but let's talk about the best trades and how I can use this week to learn and grow. Like I said, I've been doing very good in terms of my discipline and in terms of not over trading, actually taking this very seriously, disciplining myself outside of the charts so that I carry that into the charts. And I know that my only problem is just over trading. I'm a very good trader. I'm a profitable trader, but what messes me up is my psychology not being 100% locked in. So I have to lock that in, and I guarantee you printing, oh my god. But let's get in there. Now Monday, as you can see here, was pretty crazy. They expanded initially, then they dumped all the way back down and then expanded again. Crazy expansion. Let's take a look here on what the 4 hour ended up looking like. I actually came in anticipating that we would bounce off of the new week opening gap, and that is what we did. I wasn't anticipating them coming down twice and then going up again, but I was anticipating this fair value gap here to end up holding this 4 hour fair value gap here and then expand higher. As you can see here, very small fair value gap in there. But let's take a look at what ended up setting up. Oh, I remember what happened on this day. Man, I was tight. Yes, because my model played out perfectly. But on ES, my model was it was an amazing model. Honestly, it was a very good model, but it only played out on ES because I got played. I'll just explain it. So I noticed that we came down, soup liquidity over here inside the fair value gap, also inside the 4 hour fair value gap, as I showed you just a couple seconds ago. Then I see that we have this order block, last down close candle. This would be for me the bullish order block. So I was taking longs right here, and obviously did not have a what is it, a 40-point stop. Basically, I did not have my stop like this, and even if I did, I would have got cooked. Yeah, I was taking longs early and ended up getting stopped out. But if I go into here, which is ES, and go on the 15-minute, there was an SMT down here, and honestly I should have just re-entered. I didn't re-enter. That is my fault for not re-entering, but there is an SMT here with a higher low on ES and a lower low on NQ. Obviously they came back down later on in the day, but my trade would have been done because I would have been targeting probably this high up here. But like I said, I got stopped out by the NQ coming below the low, taking that last turtle soup. But if you pay attention here on ES, my model played out perfectly. The order block ends up getting hit and they just expanded right after that. And as you can see here, this would have been my entry for this day, probably a 10-point stop or below this low, targeting these highs. And yeah, it's annoying, but it is what it is. The model ended up playing out perfectly on ES. On NQ it did not. It got stopped out and I didn't re-enter, so I just got off of the charts. So then this ended up happening later on towards 12, and then this huge expansion ended up happening with a very good entry in here. So let's see if we could break that down. Yeah, but that's what ended up happening there. Obviously still respecting the new week opening gap, and that's okay because we kept coming down and leaving these big wicks. But like I said, the big wicks sometimes are I wouldn't just ignore them. These big wicks actually show a lot and they tell you a lot. But if you see, we came back down one last time into the new week opening gap, obviously respecting it, and I can show you here. Boom, this right here is the halfway point of the new week opening gap, still respecting it. And if we drop down to the 1 minute, we can probably see something going on in here. I don't know if there was another SMT. I doubt that there was. Let me just double check real quickly. No SMT. But if we come in here, you'll probably end up seeing my model play out on the smaller time frame either way, with a liquidity sweep here. This right here becomes the order block, the OB. Boom, OB, CISD, whatever you want to call it. And then I had a long opportunity right there. Could have longed them there, stop. Would have been a wider stop just because of how deep this candle came in, but I probably would have had it right there based on the volatility that we had already been seeing, and then probably targeted above this high. Or another thing you could have done was targeted the previous week high, which I wouldn't have targeted that, honestly. Max for me, I would have targeted the Friday high, and they ended up hitting that later on in the day, but they did end up coming up all the way into the previous week high, which is right here, and taking it out on the same day for 429 points. Crazy trade entry, risking what, 30 something points. Crazy entry, crazy execution. But this is the trade that I honestly would have taken if I would have been paying attention to the charts at this time. What time is this at? 12:41. I wasn't. It's okay, it happens. Stop below that low would have been a 19-point stop, so technically could have got away with it with 20 points. Would have been able to get away with it with 20 points, and then seeing all of this happening later on in the day. Amazing trade entry, crazy banger of a day. I missed the longs because I hesitated over here. I took one trade and just got off. After I got stopped out early, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get out and not even try. But on days like this, I will also say that I have to be a lot more patient, because all I have to really do is wait for my model to show up. Like here, ended up showing up and then ended up playing out here in the afternoon session. And it's just pretty simple. It's just liquidity sweep with my model as an entry entry model, with obviously having narrative and logic as to why price should move in a certain direction. But it is what it is. We'll take it for what it is on Monday. Banger of a day on Monday. Moved a lot. I was not expecting that much movement on Monday, honestly. But let's move on to here on Tuesday. I don't know if I traded Tuesday. So I didn't trade on Tuesday. I wasn't expecting a lot to happen on Tuesday, especially because of how much we moved here the day before. But if you pay attention here, we did have a liquidity sweep on Tuesday. And then at the 10 a.m. candle, we ended up coming back lower. I think the best entry, or yeah, I guess you could say entry, would have been here at 10:45. If I'm being 100% honest, I wouldn't have traded this either way, but we have them coming down into the order block with an entry here, targeted the previous day high, or the current day high, honestly, for 80 points. And then your stop loss could have been something like 12 points there. I wouldn't have traded. I know that I wouldn't have been patient enough to wait through all this nonsense, but this was a very good entry, honestly, and wouldn't have been mad at it. Very nice entry. But that's Tuesday. I didn't trade on Tuesday, so we're just gonna move forward to Wednesday. Now here on Wednesday, I was upset because on Wednesday I was wrong biased and I kept taking break evens. I don't remember if I sent all the trades this week. I had a lot of break evens this week, and I believe here on Wednesday I ended up having a break even on a long from here. I took a long in here, and then they came back down and stopped me out, but I missed the best entry. If you take a look over here, there is, I believe, a 1 hour fair value gap. I remember this like it was yesterday because it was on Wednesday, and today is Sunday, so it's not like I forgot everything. But yeah, right here you have this 1 hour fair value gap. So as you can see here, on Wednesday we end up tapping this 1 hour fair value gap that is all the way over here to the left from, what is this, February, and there's a big 1 hour fair value gap there. We end up tapping inside of it in New York session. So let's bring up the 15-minute really quickly. Here we are. So we tap inside the 1 hour fair value gap, and I ended up seeing this, and I was bullish, but I did see this and I was like, I'm about to take it short, and never took it. So what I ended up doing was I took a long here. I remember took a long somewhere in here. I was in profit, but I also noticed this right here. We have the CISD, and this candle closes back inside the range, so I'm like, I'm gonna wait for the next candle to close. The next candle opens and just straight up dumps. So I was like, oh dang, I missed the shorted below these lows. But this right here is the CISD order block, whatever you want to call it. And I take along from here thinking that we're still gonna be bullish. They come back up, I'm in profit. I'm like, okay, I'm good. My entry was like somewhere down here. I moved to break even, and then they dump all the way down. But why did they dump? Because they tapped into the order block with the CISD, and I had the wrong bias. All I had to do was really just wait and take the entry in there. Could have had my stop above here, 17 points, or above here for 10, and targeted whatever I wanted on the downside. Honestly, would have just been targeting about 50 points, and I would have got that on the first leg. See, boom, would have been out right there. Extremely clean. As you can see, they did come back up one more time over here, and that is another entry in itself, if I'm being honest, because let me erase this here. But yeah, that's what ended up happening. There's a CISD in there, and that model is crazy. I'm just gonna lock in with that model, and I've been using it on the higher time frames and the lower time frames. But if you go on the 5 minute on that same day, it is a rejection block. That other entry was a rejection block entry. This right here is a rejection block entry. That is a rejection block. Why? Because we reject off of this 5 minute fair value gap. They come up into it. As you can see, the wicks do the damage, but the bodies are telling the stories. The bodies are respecting this fair value gap, and then they dump, right, closing below all of this, which should support price if we're gonna keep going higher. So they close below it, then they come back up, and then like I said, that would have been the entry right here, this good entry here. Stop above this high, honestly, and then target whatever you're targeting. Could have targeted this low, or if you were patient enough to wait for London lows or Asia lows, you could have waited and got a very nice trade entry. Very nice trade. If you were patient enough and sat through all this, you would have been paid for sure. But like I said, that is just a rejection block entry. Rejection blocks happen on the higher time frames and the lower time frames, and they work on both, but you just have to be patient and actually understand the narrative as to why price is doing what it's doing. But that is all I saw from Wednesday. Let's move on to Thursday. And Thursday, extreme break even for me on Thursday. I was up about $1,100, and it came back on me right here. This is the trade that I took. Got in here, watched it do all this, and then came back up, stopped me out. I was like, okay, it is what it is. And I believe I took another trade after that, which was a short, and that was a stupid short that I took after that. But there was people taking longs, and they got very nice longs in here on that day. But I then ended the day with a couple paper trades later on, and they ended up hitting. And I'll explain these as well, but let's explain the trade that I took, which was obviously manipulation. Thursday, it was just manipulation because we ended up having an SMT down at the lows. Now, if you pay attention to where the SMT ended up happening. I'm gonna bring up ES as well. Now if you see all these lows down here, but as you can see, there is a liquidity sweep down here with an SMT on ES having higher lows and NQ making lower lows. So that should have been my indication just to get out of the trade. While I was up $1,100, I should have just closed right then and there. If we go on the 1 minute, then you can see that there is actual reason to do that, and it's the CISD. If we pay attention here, these last down close candles after sweeping that liquidity ended up being the CISD, or you could say the order block, whatever you want to call it. That should have been an entry for me. Should have entered here, stop below this 26 points, whatever. Could have had my stop below here for 13 points and targeted the highs that were nearly newly created, but it ended up running good amount here. But I honestly would have been targeting these highs. 82 points wouldn't have been bad at all. There was also a, if I'm not mistaken, was there some type of rejection block or something? No, we're already heading towards all-time highs. So yeah, whatever you would have been targeting, could have had the as well been targeting the all 4 of the standard deviations of the Asia session, and you would have hit. Very nice trade here on Thursday for that long. Yeah, and then I ended up taking 2 longs in here, but let's just break down those other 2 longs as well, because they were actually very nice. One of them was just strictly off of the CISD, which was this one right here. If you see here on the, one of them was obviously better than the other, but we'll mark these things out really quickly. This is obviously an order block here. I'm gonna have that for the second trade, but the other trade was right here. The other trade was in here, just off of this down close candle and them rejecting from it with a CISD. If you see here, you end up having this CISD here, and that's where I took the other entry. Long them right here, long them there. Originally had my stop below here, then moved it to 10 points, and I targeted right above this for, I believe it was like 33 points. Yeah, it was like 33, 34 points. I ended up taking it out, so you know, not mad at it at all. Then I seen that there's this big, this is after I take that, I see that big move down. I'm like, what are they reaching for? They then tap into the 15-minute order block, that down close candle, and just reject from it. I entered around here just because they had already created a rejection block right here, so this would be a rejection block, and then they came down, swooped the liquidity from the rejection block, and closed up here. So as soon as that candle closed, I entered. I got a fill like right here, stop below this, and then I targeted, I believe it was 50 points or so. Can't really see it in the, let's double check the screenshot here. So it was a couple points above that, as you can see. So it was something like this for about 55 points or something. I think it might have been 55 points. Yeah, so this was the trade entry that I got after that, off of that long. All I have to do is really be patient and stop taking paper trades. If I could just wait for these moments and actually take them, then you know, it is what it is. But I'm just gonna continue to get better and start being more disciplined, so I am allowed to take these trades later on if I don't see anything here. All I gotta do is wait. But we're trading at all-time highs, so it's gonna be very difficult for the next few weeks. The people who haven't traded in all-time highs yet, they're gonna be in for a rude awakening. But here on Friday, we have, oh well, this didn't happen, but this was the move that happened on Friday. Obviously coming down, 930 coming below these lows, and then expanding. So the New York AM session was an expansion higher. As you can see, there is an SMT right here. Excuse the fact that the market is already moving towards all-time highs, and we'll have nothing to play off of for next week. We just have to, you know, take longs until you're proven wrong. But here we are. We have a sweep of these lows down here, taking them out, and then ES actually not, so creating a bullish SMT here. So you can see higher low, lower low, SMT bullish confirmation here, and I believe I was taking shorts as well on this day, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody had caught the longs, and then I was just waiting there. Yeah, everybody on my team here caught the longs. I then ended up catching these longs, crazy longs, later on in the day, or I caught this long later on in the day on demo, and then also the craziest long, this crazy long, I closed for 14,000 on this long, but this was after like all the sessions were almost over for the power hour, and I'll explain that long as well. But let's take a look in here at the trade entry that's set up. It was a very clean trade entry. I just wasn't paying attention to it because I was for some reason trying to see if we were gonna head lower or not. But why would I do that? We're basically bullish, and everything is setting up. As you can see here, there's 2 plays. There's a rejection block play, and there is a CISD play. So obviously right here, this is the CISD, or the order block, whatever you want to call it. Long position at the CISD, stop below the low or below this low for 15 points, and then target whatever you want to target. Could have been this high, boom, hit for 73 points, bang, smack it. Not mad at it at all. The long that I took on paper was over here. As you see, we come back inside, I believe it was a 15-minute fair value gap, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, right here, this 15-minute fair value gap. Let me erase all this now. As you can see, that was the trade from that point on Friday. Friday in the AM session. Then we see right here, we have this 15-minute fair value gap. We go back down into the 1 minute. Inside the 15-minute fair value gap, you can see that we ended up swooping liquidity one more time inside the 15-minute fair value gap right here. Then we have this CISD right here with an order block, CISD, whatever you want to call it. This is how strong this model is. And then I'm just gonna lock in on that. And I took a long all the way up, and then I saw a CISD over here after an SMT at the highs. So then I just closed on these candles here somewhere, as you can see right here. I started to see the CISD and the SMT at the high, so I got out. But that entry model is crazy. I'm telling you, that is game. Learn it and use it, because it was ridiculous. But you could have easily caught 50 points on that. Like, I literally just target 50 points, and that is the trade entry right there. Stop below here or even below the low. But honestly, I would have done 10 points there. You would have easily got your 50 points. Easy. One funded account, one mini, 50 points, $1,000 right there. Done. Boom. On to the next. Now let's talk about it. I know y'all want to know about this long in here. That was a long for 14K. I honestly entered with 5 contracts, so that's why it's such a big amount. But the reason was because we had gotten inside this 4-hour fair value gap, right? And then we dropped to the 15-minute. I see that we are respecting the halfway point of the fair value gap. I'm still watching. And guess what model showed up again? And I'm pretty sure there was an SMT as well. So we end up, this is the model right here. Close above the CISD, and there, long them right here. I believe I longed them a little early, so like right here, and then stop below this low. And what I was targeting was this last fair value gap right here. I believe the halfway point. So let me bring it out. I was targeting it, but closed at the halfway point, or right before we got to the halfway point. I think I closed like right here. As soon as we started to reject, close right there. Done. That is that trade that I took. I sent it in the group chat. But I believe there was also an SMT at that low, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go take a look at it. And yeah, see these lows right here, and these lows, they did take out the low. You have to really pay attention to it, but they did make a lower low here, and we ended up having a higher low here. So that was another reason why I entered. I had noticed the CISD and the SMT inside a 4-hour fair value gap. There was obviously a clear target with a lot of low resistance, liquidity heading higher. I knew that we were bullish because we're heading towards all-time highs, so I should have just took it on my actual account instead of taking it on demo. But it was the end of the day, power hour play. I was just like, let me just take it, and I wanted to follow my rules, and I did follow my rules, and that's the most important part. But that is the last and final trade opportunity that I saw. I hope you're enjoying these back testing sessions, because these sessions are fire. Honestly, there's a lot of game in here, and if you're new to trading, I wish I would have had somebody give me this type of game. That's all I'm gonna say. Extremely good price action this week. I think I learned so much, and I got a lot to work on in terms of a lot of things that I wanna pay attention to next week. But you know, we're learning, we're becoming better. This model is crazy. Works on the higher time frame and the lower time frame, because price is fractal. So whatever is happening on the lower time frame is going to happen on the higher time frame, and vice versa. But if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Once again, follow me on Instagram at LewisVisuals_. Follow me on TikTok at LewisVisuals. Follow me on Twitter. I gotta start posting there a lot more. Check out Tektronix on Instagram. Their website should be up soon. Use my discount code LVFlip for 10% off. I got something coming very soon that I am gonna show off in the next video probably. And yeah, if you're using this model, please let me know, because this model is crazy. If you want to keep seeing the executions like I've been making them with those edits, let me know, because those edits are crazy and they're just gonna continue to get better. I'm gonna go off and enjoy my Sunday. I will see you next week, and yeah, I wish you good luck, good trading, and join the Discord as well. Link is down in the description. I will catch you. Take care.